She looked like a Barbie doll. Fun and sweet.
I remember she has like 1 million followers on her Instagram. I was like, I wanna be like her.
The rise of Kat Torres seemed to be the ultimate rags to riches story. From poverty to international model and wellness influencer, she captivated women all over the world. But behind the perfectly curated Instagram posts lay a very dark reality.
She took these girls and she convinced them to do whatever she wanted them to do, just like a cult.
These are the stories of some of the women caught in the grip of a self-proclaimed guru.
I was in a strange city, having sex with a stranger for money. How did I get here?
I think I was probably one of the first victims of human trafficking. She was using me as a slave.
And we meet their abuser in an exclusive interview.
They are saying she is a danger to society because she can change people's mind with her words.
Can you?
You tell me, can I? I hope I can.
Kat Torres, 1,73 m, 88 centímetros de quadril e 86 de busto.
As a teenager, Kat Torres entered beauty pageants and the world of modelling. It took her from a poor neighbourhood in Brazil all the way to Europe and later the US.
Oi, gente, tudo bem? Namastê.
It was here that she started to focus on wellness and life coaching.
A sua vida e o seu sucesso estão aí esperando por você. Os seus sonhos estão logo ali, depois da esquina. Faz parte de qualquer situação.
By 2017, self-care and wellness influencers had exploded online. Anyone could establish themselves as an expert, regardless of their qualification. And with more than 700 million users, Instagram provided Torres with a captive audience of young women searching for advice and guidance. Women like Anna.
When I found Kat, I was just in rock bottom point in my life. I had gone out of an abusive relationship, and even before that, I had a difficult childhood. I had gone to conventional therapy, I had gone to many doctors, and nothing was working. I just didn't really see like a future for myself. So that was kind of like my last shot. I was like, let me see if I can find a spiritual answer.
Torres drew inspiration from spiritual leaders and self-help gurus from around the world. She admired John of God, a controversial Brazilian medium who was later convicted of rape. And she followed the work of Tony Robbins, an American life and business coach.
Who here can remember a time when you had a lot of pain? How many can relate to this?
Combining what she admired about these men, Torres successfully rebranded herself as a guru and launched a subscription site with online coaching sessions.
Você é capaz de perdoar a si mesmo?
Anna says she had been attending these for a few months when Torres persuaded her to move hundreds of miles to become her paid live-in assistant.
Looking back, I see how she was manipulating me. She really rushed me to do things. So I moved from Massachusetts to New York to live with Kat.
But despite working around the clock, Anna says she was never paid.
Now I see that she was using me as a slave. Some days I was so exhausted in the middle of the day that I would tell her, like, I'm gonna go work out in the gym, but I would go down to sleep in the yoga mat just so she wouldn't come after me. So I felt like I'm stuck here. I don't have a way out. I see the pattern clearly now that this is what she's been trying to do. Isolate everyone, to gather everyone to come live with her.
Anna managed to leave after 3 months, but in 2022, Torres moved to Texas and invited her most dedicated followers to move in with her, including Desiree, a young Brazilian woman who would later write a book about her experiences. We've translated her words and used an actor to voice them.
Kat called me crying and told me she was having suicidal thoughts. She said I needed to be in Texas the next day. Without me being able to process what was happening, she bought my tickets.
Torres's control over the women in her home quickly grew. They say they were led by her into making decisions that would dramatically change the course of their lives.
She talked about the money she had spent on me, including tickets, accommodation, food. She said if I decided to leave, all these expenses would be charged.
Desiree says Torres persuaded her to work in a strip club, something she believed would be temporary.
At the end of the day, I had earned $700. Kat proposed she manage it herself, keeping everything in the safe in her room. She also insisted that my passport always stayed at home.
Desiree says Torres forced her to work long hours at the club to earn at least $1,000 a day. But soon, even that wasn't enough.
A gente trabalha aqui 24 horas do dia e tem que trabalhar mesmo. E tem que acordar às 5 da manhã e dormir às 2 da manhã. E assim é para todas as pessoas da casa.
Desiree writes of how Torres repeatedly threatened her, and eventually, scared and lost, she gave in to Torres's demand that she work as a prostitute.
On the way to meet the client, my legs wouldn't stop shaking. Many questions haunted me. If the condom broke, would I get a disease? Could he be an undercover cop and arrest me? What if he killed me?
Meanwhile, Desiree's family were anxious about her whereabouts, having lost all contact with her. They weren't alone.
A gente começa a edição de hoje falando do caso das brasileiras que vieram trabalhar aqui nos Estados Unidos e que, segundo os familiares, estavam desaparecidas por meses.
In a desperate bid to find the two women, their family and friends started a social media campaign. As the Instagram accounts grew, Torres began a counter-offensive.
A única coisa que eu fiz foi dar emprego para as meninas e só, mais nada.
She also ordered Desiree to post a video of her own.
Parem de me procurar, parem de perguntar a terceiros sobre o meu paradeiro. Se eu bloqueei todos vocês, tem um motivo. Quer dizer que eu não quero foto nenhum de vocês.
But the police were now on their trail. Torres was on the road when a law enforcement officer called to check the girls weren't being held against their will.
I guess that's Desiree next to you?
Yes, that's me.
And how are you liking America so far?
Very nice.
Are they treating you kindly?
Yes.
And are you well?
Yes.
And again, they came here on their own. They didn't come here for me. They are helping me out, yeah. But I just don't want anything bad to happen to them.
What Torres didn't know is that the call had been secretly recorded, including moments before where she was heard threatening the women.
Gente, eles são muito truqueiro. Ele é detetive. Muito cuidado. Pelo amor de Deus, eu vou dar um chute daqui em vocês se vocês falarem alguma coisa. Eu vou dar um grito. Eu não.
Torres was deported back to Brazil, facing charges of human trafficking, slavery, and medical fraud. She's been in prison since November 2022. More than 20 women have reported being scammed or exploited by her, many of whom the BBC has spoken to. The first trial, which dealt with Desiree's allegations, took place last year behind closed doors. A number of other women also testified. Now, Torres is awaiting the verdict.
Before, I'll describe myself as a model, as a guru. Now I describe myself as a prisoner.
A team from BBC Investigations and BBC News Brazil gained a rare court order to interview Torres in prison. This is the first time since her arrest that Torres is being interviewed.
When I was seeing the people testifying, they were saying so many lies that at one point I couldn't stop laughing. No women lived with me other than my dog, that is a girl, my cat, that is a girl. No women live with me.
We've seen messages from you inviting young women to live with you.
Man, if you did not see a message in the federal police, you cannot believe this message is from me. There is no way I send a message to a person saying, come to live with me in America, I'm going to enslave you, or you're going to work for me. In my house, nobody worked.
I think the messages that we've seen from multiple women are fake.
Absolutely, yes.
What about the bank transfers from Desiree, where she's depositing money into your account?
The same thing.
A Ana disse que você manteve ela em casa, trabalhando como se fosse uma escrava, que você não pagou o valor que você tinha acordado com ela e que você ameaçou ela. A gente leu um post nas redes sociais em que você diz que, de fato, manteve ela como escrava.
Eu não sei quem foi, nem se foi na minha conta do Instagram, mas eu não postei isso. Agora que eu lembrei quem a Ana é, e ela nunca trabalhou na minha casa.
Did you believe in the advice you were giving these women?
Oh yeah, I believe 1,000%.
Do you take any accountability for any of these allegations?
Absolutely not. Zero.
I was sexually exploited, enslaved, and imprisoned. I hope my story serves as a warning.
I feel better because I know she's in jail. And my hopes is that the more I talk about it and more victims are gonna come out and, tell their stories, go to the police, go to the authorities, so people see that this is a really criminal and serious case. It's not just some Instagram drama as some people might have thought.
If you feel distressed by the references in this program, please speak to a health professional or an organisation that offers support, such as Befrienders Worldwide, at www.befrienders.org.